Right, welcome back to the channel. This evening we are racing in the third beginner racing series. I don't know if I can still call myself a beginner. I've been back on Zwift for almost a month. This race is actually in category C, although the racing score limit is really quite low. But as always, we'll see how we get on. Hoping to be competitive. Guy lined up there on a mountain bike frightens me a little bit. Hope I don't get beat by a mountain bike. We've got 2 laps around the Towfield Tornado course. Total distance is about 20k, and it's not that much. It's about 50 meters of elevation per lap. I think it's just over 100 in total. Nothing major. Last time we raced came second or third. No, it's third, wasn't it? Last time we raced came third. Since then we've been doing some longer zone 2 rides. Done the Zwift build, stage 2. See how we get on this evening. The legs feel strong. We're hoping for a decent run out.
So this race starts just like all of the Zwift races do, which is with a quick burst out of the pen, with everyone putting down some slightly above average watts, but managed to stick with the front group, and we soon settle down into a nice rhythm, get a nice little group together, doing nothing above FTP. In fact, it's a little bit below FTP that we sort of settle into, so I know that this is going to be a nice pace to hold and a good group to work with moving forward.
Okay, this is fine. Just sit in the middle, get the draft, do out some ride-ons. Taking it easy, nothing silly.
So we managed to hold together as a group for the first kilometre. After that, it does start to just spread out slightly. Starts to string out, and a couple of riders actually go off the front at this point.
One of them looks like they're going for it.
And so, because I'm still feeling quite strong, I decide I'm going to try something that I've not really done before and try and sort of bridge across and see if I can form a little breakaway. We've got ES who also is leading out, who also tried to do the same thing, but actually all that ended up doing was just pulling the entire group along with us. So we didn't actually manage to catch that front rider, at least not yet, but we did manage to pick up the pace a little bit.
Split the group a little.
Yeah, so my little burst at the front actually ended up splitting the group a little bit, so we'd managed to drop a few riders, and it's little things like that I am trying to work on. A little more focus on my racecraft a little bit, get a little bit more tactical, so not be riding with as many people or try and force a breakaway a little bit earlier in a race, just to sort of see if I'm capable of that, because I think sometimes I think that everyone else is better than me and suffer from imposter syndrome a little bit, so trying to teach myself that I can actually do these things to improve and to get better results, and as we'll see in a second, I am actually capable of some quite high sustained watts, because disaster ends up striking not long after this point in the race. So we've gone through an arch, I've got a drafting boost, and this group starts to make their way off the front, and once again I think, right, I'm going to try and use that drafting boost to bridge across to that gap and see if I can join again a little breakaway. But as we can see,
No!
my trainer just completely cuts out. This has happened a few times, and if I go back onto the pairing window and then back in, it seems to sort itself out, but I'm now at a huge disadvantage behind the group with no draft and a huge gap to close.
Why? Why does that connection keep dropping?
We then get to a small little climb, which I'd earmarked in the race recap before to sort of put in a little burst up here, because it's not very steep, but I'm an okay climber. But all I ended up doing was putting in a huge effort to try and catch back up to the group, and actually that climb really fragmented the group, so I ended up passing a couple of people, made my way back to 17th, but I'm really disappointed at this point because I was doing so well initially and I was feeling really strong, but I've had to put in a huge effort just to get back into 17th place.
Oh, it's so split up now. That's so annoying.
We then hit the second little kicker of the route. Now remember, we're still on lap 1 at this point, so we've got to go up both of these little hills again in the second lap. But during this climb, I finally managed to form a little group again. I managed to catch these 2 riders in front of me, and a couple of riders catch up from behind as well. So finally, after the disaster of the trainer cutting its connection, I managed to get back in a little group, and now things are going to become a little bit easier for me.
Oh, it's time that.
Yeah, so I tried to pop my aero boost just before going through the arch so that I would manage to get a second power up to work with, where instead I think I actually popped it just after the line, so that ended up being a little bit of a waste, unfortunately. And I'm really starting to feel the effort of catching up to these people, and just praying for a little bit of recovery and a little bit of rest.
I just need to recover for a bit. 10 seconds to the next guy.
So even though I've just said about needing recovery, my competitive nature is already getting the best of me, and I'm trying to seek out the people in front to see how many places I can make back up, considering what I've lost.
Come on, the boys. 4 seconds to close. Come on.
And after another period of intense work, we managed to catch those 2 riders in front, so I'm now up to 15th place, which isn't great considering previous finishes, and in the fact that I think I've been on the podium in my last 2 races before this, but didn't have any trainer issues in those races. Obviously I've had the issue in this one, so I'm just happy to be in the mix with some people at this point in the race. And actually we end up managing to catch the group in front of us at this point as well.
Oh, boys, what an effort. What an effort. Right, nothing crazy now. Get some recovery in. Let's get back in the draft.
So we're on the second lap now on that first little climb. It's so much easier going up this climb in a group rather than a single like I was on the first lap. This climb does string the group out a little bit, and I am really starting to feel it in my legs now. That effort to catch back up with the group in the first lap is really starting to come back and bite me in this second lap.
Come on, Jay, over the top.
So we'd bunched back up on the descent after that first climb, but this second climb does the same thing. It spreads the group out. We can see a little group managing to creep their way away at this point, but just got to keep going and giving it what we've got.
Oh, running out of power. Paying for that effort in the first lap. Nearly there. Oh. Why is that not at the top of the climb? Here we go.
So we hit the top, but once again I'm by myself. There's 3k to go, so at this point I just decide to just go for it and try and catch as many people as I can.
He doesn't want it. Come on, we can catch these. Lock in. Come on.
And with a kilometre to go, I've managed to catch the group that are fighting for 10th place. So I've managed to come from 19th when my trainer disconnected to 10th, although some guy goes straight off the front with a kilometre to go in what's really actually a well-timed move, and he manages to make that move stick, so fair play to that guy.
Oh, that's a well-timed move. 500, 400, that would have been handy now. Oh, I've got nothing. Come on. No. Good race, boys. Good race. Oh. I think considering that tech issue in the first lap, they're not some bad numbers and not a bad finish either, to be fair. Couldn't have asked for more given the gap that I had to cut. Proud of that overall. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.